One of my first loves when I started playing Gwent has always been Deathwish. It was really the first genre or synergistic type of thematic pathway that I took to really immersing myself in Gwent, and I loved it, and I became the Deathwish guy for a little while. And then it kind of sort of fell out of favor. When Homecoming came around and Gwent kind of evolved, I just sort of stepped away, and, you know, I still played monsters, but Deathwish wasn't exactly what it used to be. Now, I always said I was going to revisit it one day, and this is my first real go at a good deck with Unseen Elder and Deathwish. So here I present to you Redshirts. So why the name Redshirts? Well, it's very simple. If you're a Star Trek fan, you know that the guy with the red shirt always gets killed, and that's pretty much what these units are going to be doing on the board. They're going to get crushed, they're going to get killed, and they're going to get, they're going to save the day in their own special way. So this is the deck. I'll once again go through all the units and sort of give you a little bit of a reason why I chose them, and then down the line I'll give you a little bit more of the strategy behind the deck and how to get it to win. So let's just go cruise through the bronzes. We've done this before. So 2 Foglets, thinning play, no problem, and a Deathwish as well. I've got double Marilorn. It's a 5 provision 3-point bronze, and you'll most likely want it to hit on the Harpy Egg as a 8-point bronze play. It's kind of like your old school Dow onto a Griffin play from old Gwent. 2 Harpy Eggs, good tempo choice for Deathwish, and if it dies, who cares? It's 5 extra points, easy. Rot Fiend. Now, Rot Fiend is a great pick because what I like to do with Rot Fiend is, depending on what your opponent is, opening with a Rot Fiend and then immediately using your leader power, your Unseen Elder ability, to kill an engine is actually kind of a decent play. That play, even though you might be losing some value on it down the line, if it's a 3-point engine, you're losing a point, no big deal, but it definitely pays off in the long run. The Unseen Elder in rounds 1 and 2 are more tempo and are more tempo related than they are really control related, and we'll get to that a little later. I've got 2 Wild Hunt Riders for thinning. I've got 2 Cyclopses for control and for proccing those Deathwish units. And now we get into the gold package. So Parasite. Parasite is just, it's a versatile 6-point play. It's 6 points up or 6 points down on the other side of the board. This will protect your Caldwell, and at the same time it could remove a big engine on the other side. So Parasite. Werecat has been a little bit of it's had its uses and it's sort of treated me well, but Werecat is also a thrive unit, so you will get extra value if you don't choose to actually trigger its ability with a consume. But that's how I chose to go with it. It's also good against long row stacking, obviously, and against Arrakis Queen. Get all those little Arrakis out of the way. I did miss one. Sorry, I did miss Barbagazi. Now, Barbagazi, 1 times Barbagazi. I did have 2 times, but I do have way too much consume in this, so I took 1 out. But this is just a 5-point body at the least, which is really hard to remove straight away. Most removals are 3 or 4 points. This is 5, and it's going to stay on the board to go ahead and pop off on some of those Deathwish units. So a lot of the times this might eat a lock, which is great, but other times it'll just absorb some damage possibly, but then you can go ahead and pick and choose what you want to hit with the Barbagazi. Imperial Manticore. This is a centerpiece of the deck. Now, Imperial Manticore, you do not want to play early. This is your round 3 ace in the hole, as I'll say. It's very rare that you want to get rid of this early. In most games, I'll keep it till round 3. Very rarely will I dump it on round 1. The only times I'll dump this on round 1 is if my opponent plays something very aggressive and then immediately uses tactical advantage on it. I will play Manticore, and then I will use my leader ability, and I'll get all that tempo, and it's amazing. So this is one of those cards, Imperial Manticore. It is such a great control card. If you use it strategically, it is amazing. All right, Caranthir Arfaniel. Now, Caranthir is purely just to get a second swipe at one of your Deathwish units. You're going to be using this usually on a Manticore or on your Succubus, but a lot of the time, or in certain situations, it's actually in your best interest to use this on an egg if you need to go ahead and get some more tempo, or you have some massive amounts of consume, or if your opponent is playing very small to the ground units and non-engine pieces, then using your getting a second succubus or getting a second manticore isn't really going to give you much of a tempo advantage. So you use the Caranthir on an egg, but oftentimes Caranthir is there to just get a duplicate copy of one of your cards, one of your big cards like Miruna. I call her succubus, but Miruna, or Imperial Manticore. Now we do have the Weavis Brewis Wispus combo, standard procedure. Now oftentimes I like to play one of either the Wispus or the Weavis first, because I like to have my Brewis have minimum two consumes. Very rarely will I have to use the Brewis first. I'll do so if I do have my Kayran ready to go, but Brewis with a 2 instant consumes is usually very, very good. So I will suggest that this is probably a good option for you. These three are really, really great for tempo, for usefulness. At 8 points apiece, these are great cards for this. Count Caldwell is just very simple. He's there for a massive tempo swing that you can usually protect. If he gets threatened, you can consume him, you can boost him, you can eat him, you can do whatever you need. You can toss him across the board if you want to, but he's usually very, very safe on your side of the board over here. Then we have Regis Bloodlust. It's 4 points of amazing kind of control. I was on the fence about this, and I think I've been heavily swayed that this is probably an auto-include in many, if not all decks. Regis Bloodlust is too good. He is too damn good. The banishment is really, I mean, a lot of things pull out of the graveyard these days, and you'd think not, but like even just Roach with Nilfgaard coming back with a sire, or Northern Realms pulling out of the graveyard, or even Skellige obviously coming out of the graveyard with things. Regis Bloodlust just gets rid of all that. It also negates any type of Deathwish ability. Regis Bloodlust, when it kills something, doesn't proc the Deathwish. So this is a really, really great card, and I have found some great use for him. Miruna, we talked about her earlier. Miruna is one of the centerpieces you'll want to use to really stack on with your leader ability, with your Caranthir, etc. You want to really be able to use her in very surgical ways to steal your opponent's creatures. I've stolen engine pieces like Arbalests and such with this, and it's really, really awesome. You'll find a lot of good targets that are 3, even things like the Dryad Matrons, or Arbalests, or any type of the Nausicaa Sergeants and such. There's plenty of opportunity for Miruna to get some action. And again, when you have Unseen Elder as your leader, you will find great amounts of opportunity to just drop her and use your hero ability, and it's right then and there. It could be lights out for your opponent. And then we have Kayran. Kayran is there to just proc some of your Death Wishes that are just sitting around and not getting any value. So you can throw them down there, eat your Miruna, eat your Kayran, do that. And they do them in succession. So if you do it in the right order, it's not simultaneous. It's one after another after another. So you could actually get some pretty solid strings of consumption that really will affect the board in a very positive way. And ultimately, Protoflutter. Protoflutter is a card that I've really liked for a long time. It's 10 for 10. But it keeps you at that 7 range, so you're out of reach of Leo and Geralt, and at the same time you're dealing 3 points of damage, so again, more removal of your opponent's small engine pieces. So that's the deck. And again, I want to really stress that you want to keep things like Imperial Manticore or Miruna for late game. This deck, Unseen Elder, typically thrives in a small, short round, and Unseen Elder is really good at generating tempo in a short burst. If you drop an egg with an Unseen Elder and then go ahead and consume it with something, that's a lot. Those are 2 cards that generate a lot of points. So don't be afraid to push. You have to know what your opponent's up to, but in very many scenarios, I have been able to pull out a Woodland Spirit charge on round 2, a Henselt charge on round 2, and just really push the tempo. and make sure that my round 3 is something short but exceptionally sweet, like a Caranthir with double Manticore and a double consume Brewis, let's say. So you're really just crushing the opponent's board and killing 3 units just like that. So I really hope you enjoy it. Unseen Elder is fantastic, best skin in the game, and it's Deathwish is back, and I really have a lot of fun playing this deck. So we'll go through the cards again. So that's 2 times Foglet, 2 times Marilorn, 2 times Harpy Egg, 2 times Rotfiend, 2 times Wild Hunt Rider, 1 Soul Barbagazi, 2 Cyclopses. I have Parasite, Werecat, Imperial Manticore, Caranthir, Weavis, Brewis, and Wispus, Count Caldwell, Regis Bloodlust, Miruna, Kairan, and Proto Fletter. And of course, your wonderful and handsome leader is the Unseen Elder. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be Redshirts. So like I said, I guess Deathwish is kind of back. We had a lot of fun playing this on stream this morning, and there are some really cool games that we played. Now, I did get some great feedback from people out there in YouTube land who left some comments on some previous videos saying, Flake, I want to see more gameplay. It's cool that you sort of talk about what the cards are in there and such, but a lot of them are obvious choices and you don't need to necessarily go into much detail about it. Like, we get it, we know. And I feel it, and I get it. And there are people who do like the little cutscenes of how the cards interact and such, and I'm trying to sort of please everybody, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. But what I will do from now on, my friends, is with every deck video that I produce from now on, I will subsequently make a special or a separate video of an actual start to finish game with that particular deck in action, so you can see how it works, and you can see how it interacts, and you can see how it potentially wins. So that is some great feedback, and I want to say thank you for that. Nonetheless, if you do like what you see, you can always hit the subscribe button right here on YouTube. It really means the world to me. You can visit me on Twitch as well at www.twitch.tv/WatchFlake, or on Twitter. Catch my musings on Twitter at WatchFlake. So thank you so much for all the input. I listen to everything you say. I read everything you write, and I do appreciate it all. So be kind to one another. I will see you very soon. Thank you, and adios.